In Uganda, youth unemployment remains a huge development challenge despite the positive economic growth rates experienced over the past decade.
Article 40 of our Constitution enacts the right to employment, and it is central to our being here today. We are not pushing for a privilege, we are seeking a right.
Enough is what? Enough. Enough is what? Enough.
We have experienced economic growth, but this growth has not translated into sufficient jobs for the youth.
Well, unemployment is, I would say, it's the most biting challenge that young people are facing in this country.
Emirimu, we want jobs.
2012 statistics from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics showed that the share of unemployed youth among the total unemployed persons in Uganda is about 64%, and
underemployment is higher. That is, people working in jobs which they are overqualified for, people working for less hours, working poverty, vulnerable employment are all indicators of poor labor market in Uganda.
I bet for a living, but it's not the thing that I want to do, but I find myself betting to survive.
Given the rapid population growth and the fact that the youth are getting better educated through universal school programs, a stronger focus on this cohort of people can't be overemphasized.
I completed my master's. At first I thought when I go to do master's, I'll get better opportunities, better jobs and issues like that. But it has also not been an easy road, because you take so long to see a job being advertised. And when you see one, you apply, you really get confused when they don't even call you for an interview. And you're like, am I too bad? You have a good GPA, you have everything they want. And then you keep asking yourself, where did I go wrong?
While some people blame the education system as not providing the right skills to the youth, other youth advocates think that the rate of job creation is low.
We are spending a lot of years on theoretical subjects, on things that are going to put us on the road, and we are not putting much effort and emphasis on vocational education, which gives the skills as soon as a student goes into the school.
However, the government has embarked on programs like Skill in Uganda, aiming at equipping the youth with the requisite knowledge. Mandatory internships at tertiary institutions and promotion of science subjects are other interventions aimed at solving the skills needs mismatch.
Our employment sector, or the jobs in the country, are now very, very limited. You have few jobs in the public sector. For every one job, there are about 200 graduates vying for that one job.
And as such, government envisioned the private sector as the engine of growth and aimed at providing an enabling environment for private sector to create jobs. Macroeconomic stability was looked at as a prerequisite for economic growth and jobs creation.
Government has also, tried to promote entrepreneurship. Of recent, we've seen youth funds. The first one was the Uganda Youth Venture Fund, which was set up in 2011. That was aimed at, looking at youth who are already in business, but then who needed capital to expand and be able to create more jobs for the other youth.
When money was put in the bank, it means a certain category of young people were put off. Now, a young person who is just starting from scratch, who has an idea, because young people are always very innovative, very creative, such a young person cannot go to the bank. In the whole nutshell, that program was meant for business expansion, for that young person who's already in business. How much the idea was that when you support his business, he can be able to employ other fellow young people around him.
By the time I went to do my course of food processing, in secondary they would tell us, sciences have jobs are available. So you would do a science course when you are not worried about the job seeking issues. From 2008 up to now, I cannot say that I've ever got a permanent job that makes me content. So I've come to realize, much as my parents have not told me directly that I've disappointed them, I see it in their eyes.
Since her 2011 graduation, Sheila Akirapa, a graduate of organizational psychology, has had numerous trainings and internship, but is yet to get a permanent placement.
The things that I've done between that time and now, mostly trainings, internships, but not really anything to earn a living from.
Supporting enterprise development is just one initiative that targets a very small group. Why? Because entrepreneurship is not something generic. Not everybody can start a business, not everybody can run a business. So I think while to one extent it addresses the challenge, I think it's very exclusive because it leaves out a number of young people.
Unemployment right now in Uganda, it needs all fronts. In all government sectors, we need to mainstream issues of young people. If it's agriculture sector, how is it youth friendly? How is it targeting young people? If it is trade and industry and cooperative, how are they looking at young people? If it is ICT, how are they contributing to this cause?
Yes, we want to push young people to start businesses, but there are no tax incentives for young people who start businesses, yet foreign investors get them. We are good at training people, giving people skills, but we do not go the extra step to ensure we create market for those skills. So if, for example, we are encouraging people to maybe start beekeeping, on our side as government, have we gone ahead to tell supermarkets and all these other shops where Uganda is not going to, for example, import honey so that we create market for our young entrepreneurs? Yes.
The taxes are so annoying. You end up thinking, am I working for the taxes? What do I gain from this? And because of that, some of the youths have decided to sit back and wait for fate.
The intervention of giving the youth fund was a very good opportunity to us youths. However, we hope that they can do a follow-up on those they gave the money and see that the businesses are actually in place and are helping other youth.
Okay, the government of Uganda has tried to equip the labor force, in this case the youth, with the necessary skills. You know, we have seen the government introduce science subjects, you know, making them compulsory for the students. We have seen the government making internship at tertiary institutions mandatory. This is all aimed at giving the youth, you know, the required skills, the required knowledge that will be needed in the job market. But then we still see high rates of unemployment. So what could be wrong? I think we need a clear industrialization strategy. I think the government has to come in and, you know, promote industrialization. You know, programs like AGOA, you know, programs like Everything But Arms. You know, we could use all those programs to promote exports, because I believe not all youth can be entrepreneurs. Much as, you know, the government is pushing for entrepreneurship, pushing for self-employment, I still think there's that proportion of the youth that will always need jobs to be created for them.